One of my favorite shows ever, The X-Files. The truth is out there, and if you don't believe me, you don't have to rely on Mulder, you don't have to rely on Scully to find out. With me right now is the executive director of MUFON, which is the Mutual UFO Network. I'm so excited for this segment. Jan Harzan, here to confirm what I believe, aliens. Just aliens. That's what it is, right?
We don't know what they are,
okay.
but we know the craft are real. We know they're not ours.
Okay, so MUFON is the world's oldest and largest organization, that investigates UFOs?
Absolutely. What we've been doing for over 50 years is taking reports from the public through our website, MUFON.com, and we have investigators all over the world that investigate those cases and try to determine what they are.
Now, you're the executive director. You've kind of worked your way up in the company, if you will, but you have an interesting story of how you kind of got interested in UFOs, right?
Well, my brother and I actually had a close encounter with a craft when we were 9 and 10 years old, respectively. And we actually saw something 30 feet from us hovering 10 feet off the ground with landing gear on it. And it was making a humming noise. And so it was not from here, as far as I know.
Okay.
I've never determined where it's from. But it was an experience that led me to know that these craft are real and that they need to be investigated because there's technology there that we could put to use for the betterment of all of humanity.
Right, and as I keep telling Carrie and Eric, there are beings that are smarter than us that are out there, right?
I think so too.
Yeah,
yes.
There's gotta be. You have to believe it. Okay, so how many reports of UFOs do you get a year from across the country?
We get between 7,000 and 8,000 worldwide reports per year reported to us. So it's between 500 to 1,000 a month. And that kind of shocks a lot of people because they think there's so few, they don't hear about them in the press. But these reports are coming in continually. Now, not all of those are of anything of extraterrestrial origin or not from here. Many of them we determine to be IFOs, or identified flying objects.
Okay. Like a plane?
Like a plane, like a star, like a satellite, a bird.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, okay, I want to talk specifically about a case here in San Diego because our little CG is saying that we have one spotted in San Diego. First of all, there was a recent report in August. Tell me about that.
Okay, we had a gentleman in August who was traveling east on the I-8 freeway.
Yeah,
and he saw a large football-sized object with a tail fin on it, but no wings and no motors and no jet engines. But it was hovering about 20,000 feet in the sky. And almost instantaneously, it dropped down to 5,000 feet.
Oh my gosh. So
you can't do that with a jetliner. You can't do that with many things that we know. So this was definitely something not from here. It was glowing. It was football-shaped. And this individual, as a witness, was an aerospace engineer. So it's a high-caliber witness with a very strange sighting.
Yeah, it wasn't like Saturday night and like Joe Schmo had a couple drinks and said he saw a UFO. This is someone that you kind of want to put your trust behind.
Correct.
So the one in San Diego in August, how many do we get kind of per month, per year here in San Diego?
We get 1 to 2 reports per month. I think in last year, 2018, we had 13 cases in San Diego. 6 of those were identified as IFOs or identified after investigation to be mundane kind of things. But we had a couple that remain unknown after investigation. So that's typically about the ratio we get.
Now, you brought with you, hold on, I'm going to pull this up. This is a blown-up picture of a case from 2014. Where is this, Missouri? Yeah,
it was in Oakville, Missouri. This was a 14-year-old boy riding in the car with his mother.
It's not an M&M, I tell you.
Yeah, and they spotted this disc-shaped craft tracking their car along the freeway. And actually snapped, I think, 13 photos of it on their iPhone. So this is a blow-up of an iPhone. The interesting thing about this is that you can see there's no wings, there's no any means of propulsion on it, but there is a corona all the way around it, which is a discharge. So these craft use some kind of a field propulsion system to move them around space and time. So
it's funny when you look at it on our television set because it looks like just a little smudge there, but that's what we were saying, like the super blood wolf moon that everybody was taking pictures of. It's kind of like that. You see it in person and it's this amazing thing. You try and take a picture and it looks, you know, like a little dot. What do you recommend people do if they think they see a UFO? I mean, obviously they go to your site and they report it.
Right. Well, the first thing you should do is you should observe the object and try to determine if you can figure out what it is. If you can capture it on film, that's great, or video, that's awesome. Notice its movements, because it's the movements that really determine whether it's something extraordinary or not.
Yeah.
And then follow it till conclusion. In other words, keep on it until it finally disappears, and then report all of that information back to MUFON at MUFON.com, and we'll have investigators look into it and try to determine what exactly it is.
They're wrapping me, but I just want to sit here and talk about UFOs all day long. Jan Harzan from MUFON, I'm with you, and I believe, because the truth is out there, you guys. Carrie.